guys, welcome to another interesting edition of Home Truth Nigeria. Today I want to talk on the topic: do Nigerian men discriminate in relationship? A lovely lady told me about a story in January and she wanted me to talk about this. Do Nigerian men actually discriminate in relationship? The answer is yes. Nigerian men can refuse to be with a lady under certain conditions. What are these conditions? You may ask. Just these 2 points: your age and your status, perhaps a single mother. Now, before I proceed, I would like to say not all Nigerian men do this. There are Nigerian men who don't care. But most Nigerian men, and when I talk about most, I'm talking about up to 90% of Nigerian men are very much concerned about age and your status as a single mother if before they decide to settle down with you. So let us talk about the first point: age. They say age is a number. That's very true. But you see, when it comes to getting married, it is no more just a number for Nigerians. It means a lot. It involves calculation. Now, listen to me. It is very difficult for you to come to Nigeria to meet a Nigerian who is married to a lady who is way older than him. Now, when I'm talking about way older, I'm not just talking about a lady who is how do you say it, 5 to 6, 8, 9 years older. I'm talking about a lady who is about 20, 30, 25 years older. You rarely see that happening in Nigeria. You only see this happening when they are with Western women. So even Nigerian women are also very, very in tune with this. An average Nigerian woman wants to get married to a Nigerian man that is older than her. In fact, some Nigerian women would refuse men that are just 2 years older. They're like, we're the same pair. I wouldn't feel like I would respect you. There are Nigerian women who think this way. So, given this, it brings us to the question: are Nigerian men ages? The answer is yes, not in a bad way, but in the context of selecting a partner, Nigerian men can be ages. They can discriminate you on this. And that is why it is very, very important to know this before you go into a relationship with Nigerians. Now, you see, when a Nigerian man wants to settle down, one thing he looks out for is age. And you see, this age is not something he keeps a secret. He communicates this age to family members because they would also ask. They want to know, make sure that, okay, everything about you getting married is fine, like the normal way. They want to make sure that the age is not something hilarious or a joke. And this brings us to the question: why then do Nigeria bother about age? The first thing is it is traditional. It is the traditional thing to do. You get married to a woman that is younger than you. I've seen parents who actually tell their children that God created Adam before Eve for a purpose. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they got married to women uh, younger than them, and then they even tell you that their father got married to women that are younger than them, so then they ask you, why is it that you want to derail, like you want to be the black sheep? Why do you want to go get married to someone who is old enough to be your mother? This is one point. Another point is the ability to reproduce. The younger the woman, the easier it is for her to have more kids. Biologically, Nigerian men understand this aspect of biology, the aspect of reproduction. They know the younger the lady, the more the lifespan of her having children. So for this, they also go or show huge sign or preference to younger women, and that's why you can see a Nigerian man in the 60s comfortably getting married to a woman of 22, and yeah, no one is complaining. You will see most Nigerian, when they divorce abroad and when they want to come get married, you rarely see them marrying their age mates. They go get married to women that are way younger than them. Now, other reasons, why they discriminate about age is: one, control, society validation, family validation, and appearance. So perhaps one day I'm going to talk on all of this point as reasons why a lot of Nigerian men will discriminate against age. So the question is, if age is so much important, why are Nigerian men getting married to or dating Western women that are way older, like let's say 15, 20, 30 years older than them? Why are they dating these women? Is there something they are not telling us? Could it be real love? Could it be fake love? Now, let me use this couple you can see on the screen as an analogy. There's a very popular Nigerian artist who should be around his early 40s, uh, married to a lady 7 to 9 years older. If you look at them, you may even think the dude is older than the lady, except perhaps you're told. Now, here's the thing: the lady is older, they've got kids, they are still together. As it stands, the lady is in her 50s, the guy is in his 40s. So this guy married this lady at a very young age, in as much as the lady is older, and they were able to have kids, and which is very, very important. Now compare them to this couple and tell me what you think. I know some of you might say, oh, but they can be in love, which is totally true. It can happen. Maybe one in a million, but it is not always the case, because a lot of you listening to this, you're dating Nigerian men that you're old enough to give birth to, but you think yours is different because perhaps it's different from the rest. The truth is, these men dating older women has become the norm. In fact, 6 out of 10 online relationship, you find that the women involved are way older than the guys. And in this case, these guys make these women fall in love. And the moment they fall in love, these women, they start answering whatever request this guy make. Now, is this a trend, or is this love being thrown in the air? Perhaps Cupid has been set loose and is going about shooting old Western women, to fall in love with African men, or there's no more chocolate in the Western world as it stands. So trying to get more chocolate or sun. So why are these guys actually looking for these women old enough to be their mom? The sad reality is for visa and money, and that is the truth. More than 90% of these women are sponsoring these guys. They pay them to be in love, or force them. These guys force them to literally come down to Nigeria, and get married to them, which is the sad reality, and that is not love. I know a lot of you like say, "Oh, but this is love," and all of this. No, this is not love. The moment your relationship starts revolving around money and you being forced to Nigeria to get married, it's not all about love. It's now Hunger Games. It's a game of survival. It's Hunger Games. It's a game of survival. And the truth is, no young Nigerian man on his right senses, no matter how much he claims to love you, would sacrifice his lineage to be with a lady who has done giving birth. Have that at the back of your mind. This is very, very important for Nigeria. Having children is very important. Now, let's talk about the second point: single mothers. Now, one of the reasons our divorce rate is very low in Nigeria is not because our men have mastered the art of keeping women happy in marriage. No, that is not the answer. Far from it. The truth is that a lot of Nigerian women do not and cannot leave their marriages, even though some of them are facing domestic violence or being abused in the marriage. And one of the reasons they don't want to leave is that after having kids, they are scared of being stigmatized because they're single mothers. You see some men, they will tell the woman, like, oh, if you leave me with 3 children, who do you think will be with you? Who wants to marry you with 3 children? There are a lot of men who say this. It's a common phrase. There are a lot of men who say this. And this works in the mind of a lot of women. And no matter what they go through in the marriage, they decide to stay because they understand that there is a high level of stigmatization in associated with single mothers. And I can tell you that a guy can date you and leave you because you are a single mother, which is not a crime. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of Nigerian men who will embrace women who have kids from previous relationship. Let's say 2 out of 10, which is huge, and it's also depends on a lot of factors. Now, single mothers, they've got grades and categories, and these grades and categories of single mothers, they're very, very important in decision making. I mean, a single guy who hasn't had kids in Nigeria and Africa, when in Nigeria and Africa, we have something that happens when a lady gets pregnant out of wedlock. A lot of family consider it to be very shameful. Uh, in fact, some families, they send that lady out to go live somewhere, perhaps with one aunt, grandparent that nobody knows about. And sometimes when the lady has, she puts to bed, you know, the lady might leave her child with her mother, which or aunt or whatever, and then come back to the city and resume her life, especially when she hasn't gotten married. Perhaps she got married, she got pregnant out of wedlock. So this is something that happens a lot, and the reason a lot of women do this is because they don't want to be stigmatized for being single mothers. A Nigerian man can meet you, he loves you, you're beautiful, you're nice, everything about you. But the fact that you have a child, it's a deal breaker for him. It's not that you've done anything wrong, but it's just a deal breaker for him. And some of these women, a lot of them with children, you could date them for 4 or 3 months. They wouldn't tell you that they've got kids. Some would even lie. There are cases of some even lying that they have kids outside, of wedlock, so they are not stigmatized, and then no man wants to be with them. So why then do they discriminate single mothers? I mean, being a single mother is not a crime. And one of the reasons is simple. They want a pure family, or what I say, they don't want a strange blood. Now, they want a family whereby everyone is coming from the same parent. They don't want a family where baby A has a Moroccan father, baby B has a father from Jamaica, and now he himself is having a baby with you. The baby is Nigerian. It now looks like United Nations future meeting. A lot of them don't want to go into this. And that is why so many Nigerian men would rather go for women who are yet to have kids so they can have a pure family, no strange blood. Another reason is a strong family structure. It is very difficult for them to build a strong family structure, especially when the children from the other man is when the other man is very much active in the life of the child. It is like, okay, this man doesn't have 100% control of this child and his own biological children, because the father of that child is still very much active, and it's like, oh, you're not going to tell my child what to do. So a lot of them don't want this harmony when they're trying to build a family structure, especially when they're married. So a lot, because of this, they try to avoid this. Another point could be external interference. So a lot do not want to have issues. Maybe the father of the child, interfering in anything the man says, and potentially causing trouble. So they don't want anything that will bring wahala or trouble, or a situation whereby, every weekend the woman has to go drop the child and for the man, and in so doing, the man is thinking, okay, now he has dropped the child, only God knows, if they would rekindle old flames and all of this. So these some reasons, amongst other reasons, such as raising another man's child, unnecessary expense, immediate family concerns, no drama, and then undivided attention. Perhaps I could talk about this in the future. Now, having said this, a lot of Nigerian men, still marry single mothers, but majority still stigmatize and discriminate against single mothers. And that's the truth. And for more or close to 90% of Nigerian men, single mothers are not the first choice. And a lot depends on category. Like I did say in the beginning, there are categories of single mothers. You have a category of a single mother that just has a little toddler, just a toddler, a little boy, a little girl. A lot would prefer a girl child, because the girl child will grow, potentially get married and leave the family. So a lot would prefer a female child. Some, if it's a male child, they're like, he's always going to be around, and stuff. So but a lady who just has a little toddler has a better chance than a woman who's got more kids, because it could be a lot harder, in terms of attention, much mouths to feed, when you just have more than one kids. It's like, okay, this woman would never give me 100% attention. Attention will be divided between these kids. These are factors. Another thing is the category of women who already have grown kids. It could be actually used against you. I've seen a case where a guy, as the parent of a guy, they had to remind him that, look, you're dating a woman with a 15-year-old son. Are you okay? They had to remind the guy, bring him back to uh, his senses, as they say. Which for me, I mean, there's no harm in getting married to single mothers. So the truth is, there are categories of single mothers, and an average Nigerian man thinks about this. He looks at it and he's thinking, okay, what is the right thing to do? Because I don't want wahala, I don't want problem, So now discriminating or stigmatizing single mothers, it doesn't mean that you as the single mom, it doesn't mean you're bad, when it comes to settling down. The thing is that a lot of Nigerians, they do it because the bottom line is a lot don't want problem, they just want to have their own family. It's a different thing if a lady has children and the father is not alive. Okay, so I'm like, okay, but again, the age of the child also matters. So it's very, very important. A lot of Nigerian men will look into that. It's one thing they look into, and then they're like, okay, I want to be with you or not. And this is one problem. So a lot of you might be thinking really deep, asking yourself, but these guys, they know I am older, or a lot of them know I've got kids. I'm not hiding them. I'm not hiding my age. And they actually come to us. This is the truth. A lot will come to you, even as you're watching this video. Some will still write you knowing that a lot might date you, even if you're 20, 30 years older. They will tell you all you need to hear. In fact, some would tell you I'm lying. They will tell you it's no longer happening. Things are changing. In fact, some would come as food soldiers to send me emails and insult me. But the truth is this: how many women that are way older than these younger men got married to them, and after 10 years of marriage, they are still together? How many? That's one thing you have to check, statistically. And also, how many women who've got kids, have dated Nigerian men, and they actually did something serious. Now, when it's time to get married, the man develops cold feet. How many of these women are out there? A lot of them have handled a lot of cases like that, a lot of them. And this is why I always say to you, lovely ladies, if a man is way younger than you and is approaching you, breathing on your neck, asking you for a relationship, see, first, calm down. Don't rush. Okay? No matter what he tells you, even though he tells you sweet thing, it doesn't mean he means those things. It's a job. It could be just make her happy, make her fall in love so that I get money, and then, or perhaps leave the country. The thing is, these guys, they know what to tell you. So it is very, very important that the moment you see he's way younger than you and they come to you, my advice for you is say no. Say no. Avoid these guys that are way, way younger than you. Say no. It never ends well. If the guy is 5 or 6 years, around your age frame, okay, you can look at that. Consider it. Nigerian men marry women at that age. Some marry women that are 2, 3, 4, 5 years older than them, of course. But make sure that you are within the age of reproduction, especially if the guy hasn't had kids before, because it happens that a lot would date you, enjoy you for the fun while it lasts. At the end of the day, they will leave you. Now, a simple litmus test to see that Nigerian men who do not need visa, or what do you call it, or your money. One very simple litmus test is that you hardly see a Nigerian man who is doing well going online looking for an older lady. You rarely see it. Like, he's doing really well for himself, going online looking for an older lady. You rarely see it. Even in your country, you rarely see a Nigerian man who has his papers, you know, dating a lady way older and is like serious. I'm not talking about having a fling. I'm talking about in a committed relationship. You will always see the ones that are struggling. If they are in your country, they don't have their documents yet. And of course, it's easier to catch the older ones because they're lonely. What are we talking? And that's a simple litmus test you can do, because the truth is, a lot of women that are older feel like, okay, they are different, But the truth is, there are millions of you out there who are going through the same thing. The same with single mothers. Most fall in love with single mothers, and then when you see the profile of the guy, you see that. the child is the guy sees your profile, sees that the child is perhaps old. When he was in love, it wasn't a problem, and then at certain stage, he's gonna tell you that, oh, he spoke to his parents about you, they like you, everything is fine, but they don't just like the fact that you with you've got kids, and you start asking yourself if it's a crime to have kids. But that's him telling you like, hey, I'm going to walk out anytime soon from you. And that's the truth. And this is why I always say to you, ladies, date within your profile. Date within your profile. Date within your profile. If you're a granny, quit looking online for young men, young enough to be your son, your grandchildren. Stop dreaming of setting into the sunset with a young black African man. It's not going to happen. Your arthritis won't allow you climb that horse. Stop dreaming. Date men your age. Look for men within your profile. There are a lot of Nigerian men who can be your knight in shiny armor. They can be your Black Panther. They can come and revive you, make you feel like Sweet 16, without any drama of, breakup or money and all of this. It's very, very important. And for single mothers, first thing you want to do is to look out for a single father, someone who is a parent, who understands what it is to be a parent, or find a man who is mature, mentally mature, a man who's got some level of education, who can understand and reason what it is to be a single mom, who doesn't see single mothers to be criminals or see them to be people who've committed huge crime. If you're a mom with grown kids and you've done having children, stay away from men who have not had kids. Men, you can't give them kids. Stay away from them. You would get heartbroken at the end of the day. Go for men who've had kids. Go for men who have grown kids. Who, when you tell them things that your children are going through, maybe your children are becoming teenagers, are becoming rebellious, he can empathize with it because he's a father. You understand what it means. Not with somebody who still needs a mother figure in his life, and you're going to have another child. And that's the truth. Now, here's the thing, guys. Nigerians are lovely people, but we have our culture and expectation of life, which is very important for us, especially when we're making decisions and choosing a partner. As I said, a Nigerian might date you even if you're older, or might even date you if you've got kids, but it's not a guarantee that he will be with you. Now, in order for you to minimize emotion or damage, it is very important to date men within your profile. Take your time when selecting a partner. Make sure you choose someone not just based off their appearance alone. Choose someone who compliments you, who understands your situation. Because at the end of the day, if you make mistake, you'll be left alone crying. Because I see a lot of you, you've given your body, money, soul. If you can give your spirit, sell your soul to that guy you're dating, you will do so. But the truth is, at the end of the day, it doesn't work. And these have left a lot of women in tears and regret, crying, swearing, I will never do anything with Nigerian men. But the truth is, you refuse to pick men within your profile. The moment you don't pick men within your profile, you are bound to make mistakes. So, guys, as always, sorry it's a long video. You can write me on home336@gmail.com. If you got questions, please like, share, subscribe. Home Truth Nigeria, peace out. And I don't apologize for anything if this video offends you. Bye.